It's Fred here. It is December 28th on a Thursday, and we've just had the coldest couple days of the year. It's about 9 or 10 degrees out right now, and we're gonna start a new adventure today. Several of my subscribers have commented on my winter hike video, and I've got over 1,000 hits on that, and a lot of people are interested in winter camping. And winter camping is not for the faint of heart. It is not really that difficult. There are some basic things that you need to keep in mind, but it can be very dangerous, absolutely dangerous if you go out on your own and you don't know what you're doing, especially if you're on your own, but even if you're together with other people. So today what we're doing, I've got a couple friends of mine, Dave, who you're familiar with, and his son, Tom. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go through a winter camping or cold weather camping scenario. What we're going to do is we're going to hike for about 1.5 miles and talk a little bit about hiking with backpacks and how to keep yourselves from getting too sweaty, and just some things that you want to look for in a campsite and things like that. Then, because these guys really haven't ever done this before, I wanted to give them a safe place so that if they wanted to bail, they could. So what we're going to do is go back to my backyard, and we're going to go through, starting a fire and how you do that, the kinds of things you eat, how you set up your bed stuff and your sleep systems, and how to process wood, those kinds of things. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to sleep out tonight. It's supposed to only be a low of about 10 tonight, so it'll be a real heat wave compared to what we've been having. And again, Dave and Tom haven't done this at all, so this will be exciting for me to help them have a good experience. And like I said, we're doing this in the backyard just because we want to make sure that they have a good experience. Winter camping is really fun, and when you go out in the boonies and really enjoy it, especially like I did last year, where we really had some things that were a little bit scary because I was in a winter storm, but when I got all done with it and realized all the things that I'd done to keep myself warm and to get myself prepared, it was really a great feeling. And so we're going to do that today, and hopefully you can learn a little bit about cold weather and winter camping, and hopefully it will help you so that you can eventually do this on your own. Now, I just want to do a disclaimer here. I personally think that you should never go alone winter camping the first time. You should actually go with someone else who knows what they're doing and who has been several times. But I have to also say that that's not the way I did it. My first time out was my first solo. It was in a winter storm. And so it's possible to do it if you prepare by watching stuff on video and things like that. You can do it, and you can probably be successful. But I don't recommend it. I really think that it's better to have a little bit of experience before you actually go out and try it on your own. So I hope you enjoy this. We'll do it in segments, and I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for coming along. Okay, so as promised, here's Dave and Tom, and we're gonna pack for about probably 1.5 miles, something like that, just to walk and see how stuff handles. I just found out something myself, is that my Kelty pack wouldn't fit over my vest, which is okay, because I just have a sweater here. It's a wool sweater, and we're okay. We'll be walking. But I did not know that, so if it was really, really cold, we'd be in a little bit of hurt right now. So this is why you do this kind of stuff, is to go on. So we're gonna go hike. We'll get on every once in a while and talk about some stuff, but we're just gonna enjoy the afternoon, and then we got to get back so we can get some wood and get a fire going and get ready to camp out tonight. What's the temperature, guys?
Right now?
Yeah,
it's going to be
13 or 14, something like that, and it's not going to go much higher the rest of the day. So this is it. All right, see you in a few. Okay, so we're just taking a little break here. I can see my cheeks are getting rosy and my head's getting a little sweaty. One of the things about winter camping, and you just have to be really careful of, is you don't want to get real wet from sweat, and it's almost impossible to do that, really. I've got just one sweater on here, and I've got a zipper that goes down so I can vent myself a little bit that way. And then my hat, I've pulled it off my ears already, but my head is still kind of sweating. But if I just stop here for a little bit and then slow down the pace a little, that'll keep me from sweating very much. I'm not really wringing wet yet, but I will be. It's really hard for me to not sweat in this. But like, I'm not cold at all. My feet are just a tad chilly. I'm actually just using my Skechers, my summer ones here. I'll get a picture of them later, I guess. And I've got 2 pair of socks, just like I always do. And so they're keeping me pretty warm. And again, as long as I'm walking, it's usually not too bad of a problem. So, and so we're using trekking poles today. And boy, it's just a beautiful day. I don't know if you can see the sun here. Let's see if we can get it in the picture here. There we go. But it's a gorgeous day. Supposedly maybe some snow flurries tonight. So that'd be kind of fun. Get them on our tent. That would be really good. One of the big issues while you're out winter camping is trying to find enough wood for a fire. And you want dead wood. And so you look for areas like this. Now, this isn't the most ideal place. If you look right there, there's a log. It's a really long log. It's really big around, so we wouldn't want to be spending time sawing that. But if you look along where there's trees down, you can see over here there's some stuff down, but it's really pretty thin, and you can whack that stuff in half pretty easily with a regular crosscut saw, a small one that you can take with you. And one of the best things is to try to get dead trees that are kind of standing, like that one that's kind of going up and down there, or a dead tree. I'm trying to look for one. I can't see one right now. Oh, there we go. That one that's right straight ahead, that has like the holes and stuff in it. If you can get them when they're standing straight up and down, then snow's not sitting on them, so they don't get as wet. They're not as wet that way. If I'm grabbing this one here, and this one would burn, but notice all the snow on the top of it, and of course as that melts, it just soaks down into the wood. So all winter long, you've got the top of that piece of wood pretty much soaked all the time. So if you can find the dead wood before it comes down, that's the good ones to take. But it really doesn't matter, as long as you get some decent wood, like right down along here. Here's some pretty thin stuff here, but it's dead. You can obviously see it's dead wood. If you get that and cut it up and split it maybe in half with a hatchet, or use a knife to process it, that makes really good wood to get it started. Once you get a good fire started, then you can burn stuff even if it's wet. I've had wood that's actually, the water's actually come out of it while I've been burning in the middle of it. So another place is a good place to get wood is pine trees or hemlock trees. If you notice, there's some what appear to be like dead branches down near the bottom. If you look over at this tree, it's even more obvious. Hemlocks and pines will often, the lower branches die off, but the upper branches still stay alive. So these are great dry branches, and they make great firewood. And you can usually just hack them off with a hatchet or something like that. You can see some more over here on this one here. This is why I like to try to get into hemlocks or pines to actually camp. They break the wind sometimes, and of course there's always some good fire starting wood. Okay, so we finished our hike. We're heading back. We're gonna go back to the house, and then we're gonna set up camp for the evening. So join us in a few. Okay, well, the first thing we've done since we got out here, again, we're in our backyard camping. It's a nice, safe place. So if we really have to bail, all we have to do is go right in there, and there's a nice fire in the fireplace inside too. We'll be starting a fire outside pretty quick, But you really want to put your tent up and get your bag out and get it lofted up pretty quickly. That way, if you don't, that's the first thing I always do. That way, if you don't get a fire built, at least you've got your way to keep it warm inside the tent. So here's my little tent. I normally hammock, but in the winter, I like to be inside this kind of thing, at least for right now, until I get a better underquilt, that kind of thing. So I've got a little thing and little pup tent. It's a cheap version of the some of the better ones. I got this for like 40 bucks from China, but it's worked pretty good, so I'm pretty happy with it. And we're going to put the lid on it now, and we'll have a vestibule. It does have doors on two sides, which I like. That way I can put a pack in on one side and do the other on the other side. So I don't think I'm going to stake it down tonight. It looks like it's going to be fine just staying here. We're not going to be too windy tonight, so I think we'll be... So we're getting ready to start a fire here. Now, the basic rule is you start with some little stuff, like, oh man, like finger small or less, maybe more like a pencil, and then about finger big, and then maybe, you know, like 3 fingers big and that kind of stuff to build up so you can get your fire going really quickly. Now, I've got some fire starter that's going to help us, but one of the things, you're not going to have nice wood like that out in the woods. So what you have to do is saw it up, and then, like I said before, you have to get some of this dead wood here to make little branches and stuff. This is like your kindling, and so we're gonna bring that up. And Tom, I'm gonna let you break some of this up just in the little twig-like things.
All right.
And just make a pile of them right there by your chair.
Okay.
And whoops. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and split some of this. These are shorter pieces and smaller pieces, and I'm going to split it up a little bit so it'll catch fire better. So you can see we've got some little kindling there we split up, and then we got some other pieces here, which would be about the size of what a log would be if we were splitting them up. Tom's made up some nice little pencil size and a little bit bigger there, and then we've got some more over there we're going to put on. And so we're going to do a kind of a log cabin type style here. I found that the teepees actually start better, but then they always tip over. And so I find it's easier to do it this way. And then some of these sticks start getting to going a little bit better. So we'll put this there, and we'll put these here. And Tom, you got some more of those, right? So like I said, I'm kind of cheating here a little bit. I've got one of these Duraflame little logs here, and once it gets going, this stuff should take off pretty good. So what we've got is we got some little tiny kindling there, pencil tape. Then we've got some a little bit bigger right here, and this is pretty dry wood, so it should take off pretty quickly. And we're going to put some more other dry stuff up here, and hopefully it'll start going here pretty good now. All right, so here we are. Don't have everything done, but our tents are up, and I think you guys got your pads ready too, right? I still got to blow my pad up, and but my ropes are all there. Now, if we got a really heavy snow tonight, well, I'd be in trouble. I don't have it all staked out nice and tight on my what you call it, my oh, what do you call that thing on top of there? The rain fly, yeah. So mine wouldn't be real taut right now, but I don't think we're going to get any snow, or not much. I don't know if you can see the moon. There's the moon right there behind us. So we don't have a lot more sunlight today. It's about 4:39, and so probably we're going to lose sunlight in about, oh, I would guess probably 20 minutes or so. So there she is, the sun now. And we're not getting any heat out of that sun anyways. It's been sunny all afternoon and hasn't melted any of the snow, so it's okay. We'll be fine. So here, meet my wife. She hardly ever gets in my videos, but she makes it possible so I can do all this stuff. So whenever you're watching all these videos, you need to be thankful that I got a wife that lets me do this. So So I want to show you my sleep system here. I've got a Field and Stream 0-degree bag. It's a mummy. Underneath of that I got a Perea Recharge air mattress. And then underneath that I have a Reflectix, and that has worked for me in the past down to about 0 degrees. I also have a couple Costco quilts that I can use if I need them, and I also got a down jacket if I need it. So yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to stay warm tonight. All right, now you're cooking.
Now we're going to get some water.
So we've got a fire going, so we're able to get a little bit warmer. And it is cold tonight. It's, what did we say it was? 14 degrees, which the last time I was here, that I did this, it was like 9 degrees out. But this feels colder tonight for some reason. I don't know why. And Dave brought his Christmas lights. So that's kind of cool. I like those a lot. I think I have some red ones that are LEDs that my wife got for Christmas. I could probably put them on mine too.
Them out to yours.
So, yep.
Yes.
Yeah, well, mine's neon green to begin with, so mine's going to glow in the dark anyways. So Dave's got a jet boil here, and it wasn't working too good, but we finally figured out why. The gas thing was almost empty, and so we've got a full load now, and he should be able to cook lots of stuff tonight. And I've still got quite a little bit in mine. I have a Primus, and I really like it. It's a little old school, but it works pretty good for me. And Tom's feet were getting cold, so we've got his shoes on one side, kind of away from the fire, but trying to warm up a little bit. And you can see over there his feet are going, and the steam's coming right off of his feet a little bit, so you know they're starting to get warm now. So yeah, so you can see we still got a little bit of light. It's 5:30, but the sun's been down for a while now, and beautiful moon tonight. And we'll take a look. I'll probably be able to see some stars too as well if it doesn't cloud up, but it's supposed to cloud up a little bit. Then we got some wood here drying out. How many pieces did we decide yet? We haven't really counted them, have we?
No, we haven't counted.
We're going to try to keep track of how much wood we actually used tonight. So one of the things you have to worry about when it's cold is you got to keep your water from freezing. And how long have we been here, guys? Probably 3 hours? 2 to 3 hours. And as you can see, we've got some ice in the thing here. So one of the things that you always want to do is, if you are actually trying to store some water, try to store it upside down, because that way ice floats to the top of the bottle, and then at the bottom of the bottle you can still pour it out of there. Okay, and if you don't do that, then it'll freeze at the top, and then you can't get any of the rest of the water out, and you have to thaw the whole thing out. So just a thing, and it works on these plastic bottles. It's the same way with these. Okay, same kind of thing with these bottles, and they'll do the same thing. So when you store them, if you store them upside down like that, you're in better shape. Now the problem is some of these have like little small things, and so if they have these little small ones, then you can't store them that way, and so you have to prop them up or something like that. So I've got one propped up down here, upside down against the can, and that works a little better there. So yeah, so it's something that you just kind of have to keep track of. And before I go to bed tonight, what I'll do is I'll heat some water, and I'll put the water back in here. So I have hot water in this, and I'll have hot water in that. And that hot water then I'll probably put in my sleeping bag, or at least I'll put it in my tent, and try to put something around it, a sock or something like that. And that'll still be warm in the morning, and that way I can make coffee or whatever. One time I was in a winter storm, and I I knew that trick, so I heated that up and I put it in my sleeping bags, and it kept me really nice and toasty warm my feet at night. And not only that, it also provided me water in the morning so I could make some coffee. So you can see we've kind of gotten into our pile a little bit. I think we've burned about 15 pieces of wood right now. So this has already been, this is already here for us. It's already split. But if we were out in the going winter camping, we'd have to cut this. So this is why it's really good to go with people, with several people instead of just one, because that way more people can cut wood. Because we're going through a lot of wood here tonight, and just in order to stay warm. Okay, so we're kind of winding down the evening here. Dave and Tom have just turned in, and I'm trying to get a little warmer by the fire before I turn in. It's about 9:15, so that's not too bad. And hopefully we can stay warm the evening. The fire feels really good right now. We've gone through a lot of wood though. One of the things, if you're winter camping, first of all, one of the reasons why you should never go by yourself is because it's just so hard to get enough wood. I've burned through about 40 pieces of wood here tonight, and it'd be pretty hard to saw all that up by myself. So yeah, it's usually a 2 or 3 man job. So just to think about that, again, like I said before, today when I first started this, my little disclaimer: you should never go by yourself, especially the first time, but I don't think you really should go by yourself too many times if you've got to have a lot of wood for a fire. So yeah, but boy, the fire is keeping us warm, although my feet have still been cold today. And then I took my shoes off and got my feet a little too close to fire, and it actually burned my sock. So kind of have to be careful with it. But yeah, it's a nice night tonight. Starting to cloud over now. I think you can just barely see the moon there, and it's kind of underneath the clouds. So that's what keeping it a little bit warmer tonight. If it was clear, it would go right down to 0 probably. But yeah, it's a nice night right now. Another thing that I think is just absolutely essential is to have some of these hot hand warmers. I've brought several with me. They're pretty simple to use. You open them up out of the container, and they're just this little pack, and you just shake it. Basically, the air provides the oxygen, and that makes it so that it, I'll try to do this with my other hand here. There's an oxidizer. It starts to oxidize in there and makes a chemical reaction. And then once you get the chemical reaction, then it starts to get hot. It'll get hot in about 10 or 15 minutes, and it'll get so hot you can hardly hold on to it, and it will stay that way about 8 hours. So really cool. I put 2 of these. I put 2 of these in my feet, one inside. I put a sock, and then I put one of these in, and then I put in another sock, and it keeps my feet warm all night long. And then I don't have to worry about my feet when I'm in the sleeping bag. I just don't worry about it, because these things will keep my foot warm all night long. And all you do is just shake them up. And when I wake up in the middle of the night, if they're a little bit, they don't feel quite as warm, I can just shake them up again. Okay, so had to document the fact that we actually survived the night, and we're getting ready to break down camp, but we're not going to pack it all up in our bags. I'm going to take mine right into the house, and these guys are going to dump it in this nice big what's that, laundry basket, and take it out that way. So it'll be good. We're supposed to get 2 or 3 inches of snow tonight, so I thought about maybe leaving my tent up, but I slept so bad last night, I don't think I'm going to stay out again tonight. So, all right, so let's start tearing down. All right, so we survived. Dave and Tom, that's their first overnight camping experience in the winter. And this is my, I think, fourth. But it was really good, except that I didn't sleep last night. So other than that, it was a great night for me. I stayed warm and toasty. I think these guys were pretty good as well. We had a great fire, had a great time. So now we probably are a little braver. But we may not be hardcore winter campers yet. So,
That's true.
what do you guys have to say?
I'm glad we did it, and I'm ready to go get a hot breakfast somewhere. Sounds good.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Well, I'm gonna duck out on that. Maybe go in and sleep a little bit.
All right.
All right.
Good night,
See you
Fred.
later, guys.